We are about to taste a Grand Reserva Rioja. So this is the Campo Viejo Grand Reserva Rioja. Well, actually, let me just, so I'll put it down, it'll be chapters, so you can move on if you're not interested in environmental aspects of this, but I think it's just worth mentioning that the wine is made 100% of its renewable sources of electricity. It uses 30% less carbon emissions because the bottles are lighter. The average water used is 0.8 of a litre compared to the average in Spain of 2.25 per litre of wine. This brand is supposed to be the #1 Rioja in the world, and it's the #1 premium in Spanish wines in the UK. So there's quite a lot of...
There's quite an accolade there as well, that #1 Rioja and
yeah,
the #1 premium.
Obviously, we don't know that, but I'm assuming that means by volume. I'm assuming. And also, I believe did this one win or was that no? I thought this one might have won a competition, but
and all that. Yeah.
Oh, it did double gold in New York in 2020. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, it set the bar high there, because you know. But, you know, okay, so the environmental bit's finished, and so if you're joining us back after skipping that, we'll give a look at this colour, shall we?
Yeah, now it's no secret as well that Rioja is my favourite wine, so thank you very much, John. And also Grand Reserva is it's got to be the top dog, so I'm very excited and interested to try this wine. So yes, John, let us have a look at the colour.
So I'm saying that it's got a little bit of a brownie tinge to it.
Yeah, it's got that. It's got the burgundy colour, but almost it's not quite brown yet. But like it can almost lend itself towards getting. It's just on the cusp of kind of looking at it, thinking, yeah, I could get that.
I could almost imagine it being the oak staining it that colour.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's so
not,
lovely.
I could almost imagine that.
Yeah, but it's like it's kidology, isn't it? It's half of it's a story.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at that. You know what, John? I can smell it from here as well. I can smell. Yeah.
You sure that's the wine?
Stop it, John.
Alright, stop it.
I'm pretty sure it was the wine. You've got me going.
Right. Be proud of
Pretty sure it was the wine, but yeah, thank goodness, because I was really enjoying it. That's the bad bit. What is that? All right, I need to take a breath now before I...
Right, have another sniff.
Right, okay.
Oh, wow. That's stupendous.
Isn't it?
That's stupendous.
It's just got everything in there.
Oh.
For me, again, it's that...
That is lovely. I don't... So I'm getting little bits of. Obviously, there's a cherry, isn't there?
There's the cherry in there, which is.
I'm getting sap again.
Is that oak? Because
maybe.
Well, I think you mentioned before, like the sap from oak, but is that? Because I want to know what the sap is, but I think it's the oak. What I would say is oak. Because the oak is there, the cherry's there.
Yeah.
And it's almost got that hint of coffee in there. This is almost a stereotypical, which I've said before, like you could spend 10 minutes actually smelling that and just appreciating.
So this is a 2015 Rioja. So we're actually talking about. So that means it has to. I think it says it's been in oak for a minimum of 2 years, maybe longer, and then the bottle for a minimum of 5 years. Well. Obviously, 2015. We're in 23 now, so that's eight years, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's had a lot of time to mellow and integrate the colours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even trying this yet because I'm still too busy enjoying and inhaling and processing all that kind of nose.
Also, when it smells this good, I'm always nervous that when I taste it, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's the opposite way though. Sometimes you have ones which are kind of the smell nothing, and then suddenly you hit with these beautiful flavours.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if someone can make that into an aftershave, I'd
Leave your face red.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Anyway, right, okay, let's give it a taste. Let's give this bad boy a taste.
I'm quite enjoying that. I have to say, just to put this in context, this costs £16. So, which obviously brings it down a tad in terms of, if it's a £5 or a £6.50 bottle, you give it a little bit different marking. I enjoy that. It brings up. You got the cherry. I can still taste. It's like 3 phases. I can still taste the wood a little bit. I'm just trying to think what I get to begin with.
I completely appreciate what you're saying. That there are 3 phases. The first one I couldn't quite tell what the first one is, but the second one, the cherry is in there, beautiful. Smell that, taste it. Then for me, the oakiness comes through at the end. Tannins make a nice little appearance without being too overpowering, but. It's a very. I was expecting more from the nose. I was really enjoying that, and again, I was like, waiting to get in there, and hoping that it would hug me with all those flavours that it introduced me to on the nose. But it didn't. It's okay. Don't get me wrong, it's okay. But now, especially saying it's £16 a bottle, that nudges it slightly. From wines we have tasted at 15, 16, £17.
Yeah. It's a good wine though. I mean, it's a nice wine. I think, the price is a little bit OTT for the quality of the wine.
Yeah.
If it was a £10 bottle, I'd be thinking, well, this is really good for £10.
Yeah. It's soft. It's
it's very pleasing. I love the taste.
Yeah, the flavours there, but it's just not powerful enough for me. It's not enough to make me go, oh yeah, get in there, find that and find that. When you say it's not powerful, do you mean it's not powerful enough in terms of the flavour, or it's not complex enough? I'd probably say both. The power's not there, the complexity. You're getting those 3 hits. Like I say, the bit I can't really recognise, then your cherry, then your oak, then a bit of tannins in there. But there's nothing that's really outstanding, or nothing that's making me go back in there thinking, what was that? Let me find that. What's that juice? Where's that coming from? It's a nice wine, but then sometimes describing some things as nice, it's not always, the best compliment. Do you know?
That's sort of like middle of the road, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's not enough to say it's bad. It's not enough to say it's good or brilliant. It's okay.
Yeah, but I was quite disappointed because from the nose, I thought that would be one of these where, I had a smell. Enjoyed that so much, so when I got in the flavours, I thought I'd be upset. Oh, this has got there. And what do you think of that? And how has that come in there from? But to be fair, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's very soft, very very soft on the tannins as well. So I reckon this would suit a lot of people, but only because it doesn't fire off in any direct style. But then again, I have to come back and say it's £16.
Yeah, I guess if someone else was paying, and it was at a party and you were being served this, it'd be, nice.
Definitely, yeah. If I didn't know the price of that and someone had been, nice.
But I guess the fact is, if you know 16, you're thinking, actually, I could get better than this for 16.
Yeah.
In my view, anyway.
Yeah, I am with you, John, 100%.
But nevertheless, a very nice wine. Okay, so let's move, shall we, to... are you ready to move to pairing?
I am, but I'm just... It's getting a little bit more interesting as we're going.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm just getting more kind of raspberry strawberry or something coming through there. I think... No, I'm sticking with where I'm going. So, pairing... I'm going to come back to the good old, reliable cave-aged Gruyere. And I'm only saying that because I know... from very much experience, that from doing private tastings, that Rioja and Cave-aged Gruyere, they're a match made in heaven, and that will never let me down. So yeah, the Cave-aged Gruyere would be my choice. Got a little salt crystal in there, kind of almost an oniony flavour. And to be fair, I mean, I did a tasting, the last tasting was last Saturday, and I sometimes I see their faces when they go around. And it's not always about one or the other, it's the pairing of the two. And I see people have a taste of the wine and think, I don't know if I like that. And because it's usually the last one I'll do as well. And people are a bit dubious. And then when the cheese goes round, I do love it because you stand back and you say, you've got to trust me here, just try it. And then when the cheese goes out and they taste it, then there's this silence. And it's like, that silence speaks volumes. And then it's like, Oh yeah, they really get into it. So yeah, in answer, cave aged Gruyere with the Rioja.
Okay, and you then could transform this.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm taken to several meals I've had in northern Spain, and they do this sort of like it's like a T-bone steak. So it's not. It's a big joint. So it's sort of like a big joint of beef, which they obviously season first. Then they flame grill it, and then they bring it to the table, and they just sort of cut it in front of you, and you sort of like it's pink in the middle, and you sort of like the blood sort of oozes out, and you can just tell, and it's steaming, almost steaming with flavour. And that with that sort of steak would just really go lovely.
That sounds very good, John. Very good. I think I'd go with that.
Okay, well, let's move on to the score.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one, isn't it?
It's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a tough one.
I'm there.
I'm there. Okay.
Right. Again, what I'm taking into consideration here is, number one, I love Rioja. Grand Reserva Rioja is one of my favourites. Then we're looking at the actual flavours, what it produced, what I got from it, how good or bad that was, but also then the price, which is that's probably the biggest thing we're doing in the video. So for me, taking all that into consideration, I'm not going to be brutal, but I believe this for me would be There we go.
Okay, and I'm going to go for 80.
78.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
I think neither scores. I think both those scores were perfectly fair.
Yeah, I was like teetering on 79, and I think perhaps it's worth 80. And yeah, so there we are. I'm going to ask you to give another score now.
All right, go on.
Okay, another score. I'll turn my back again, and this time we're going to do it on the smell.
Oh, on the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, now that was very pleasant. So, crikey.
Do you want another sniff?
No, I've not left, John. I mean,
you can smell mine if you want.
I'll score that too. Thanks for your very kind offer, John. I will have a smell of yours. I will just remind myself. I mean that already. So if I were to score on the smell alone, and if that had come through with the actual flavour of the wine, and it was a little bit cheaper, that for me, I would be very. I could have spent 10 minutes with that. So I'm going to go for with the nose. There we go.
90.
88.
Okay.
Yeah, which is again an excellent score, but the smell was just so lush, and that might have been part of why I pulled it back, because we've said many times the smell. If it comes through the flavour after the smell or the nose, then you're onto a winner. But unfortunately, that just didn't pull it out of the...
Interestingly as well, that I was 2 above you on the taste and 2 above you on the...
Yeah, on both of them,
So we're probably obviously just sliding at that same difference.
Sliding scale.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, I guess until the next time, well, hopefully we find one that's going to really hit the button and, will be perfect. But no, it's a good wine and worth a try. Let us know what you think of it if you try it. Let us know what food you've paired with it. Let us know where you are viewing this from. And finally, let us know any recommendations you may have.
Definitely. That'd be very nice, yeah.
Okay, until next time, guys.
Chin chin.